Why do fish get under grass mats? Big bass love grass mats, especially water hyacinth mats or just grass in general, all matted up. Why do bass get under there? Number one, they get under there for shade. But number two, they get under there to feed. Believe it or not, what's in that grass mat, I've taken a net out there before and I dip it down in the grass mat and I pull the grass mat up in the net and shake out all the little pieces of grass. And what falls out are insects, beetles, little shrimp, little crawdads, all kind of little things. There's a whole science project in that grass mat. And so what happens is that the bluegill come under that grass mat to eat the beetles and the bugs and the little shrimp. And then here comes the big boys right behind them to eat the bluegill. So it's a whole little life cycle, little chain, food chain happening right there with that grass mat. So that's why we throw creature baits, such as this bruiser intruder. This is a bait. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've caught so many big fish on this silly looking thing lately. It's amazing. Dark colors or watermelon seed are my two choices. This little bait right here, you know, what does it imitate? It imitates a crawfish. Okay, that's probably, you know, your best food source for a bass. You know, they can eat the bluegill, number one, but they can also eat the crayfish. So a little crawdad imitation like this bruiser intruder, again matched up with that big river to sea, 1 ounce, well, actually it's 1.5 ounces weight, gets it through the grass, and that's good. But that's why those fish are under there. They're under there eating the shrimp. They're under there eating the beetles. They're under there eating the crayfish that are hanging out in those mats. You know, you've read articles before of catching these big bass down here in South Florida or any time you're fishing grass mats, and some guys are throwing little tiny baits. This bait here is not very long. It's only 4 inches long. They make another one called a junior that's 3 inches long. And you say to yourself, that's such a small little bait. I'm trying to catch an 8 or 9 or 10 pound bass. Why wouldn't I throw something big and bulky? Something, you know, like a 5-inch bait, something bigger. Well, that's not what they're used to seeing under those grass mats. In those grass mats, the crayfish aren't gigantic. Those grass mats, the crayfish are small, 3 inches long, 2.5 inches long. The beetles are small, the bluegill are small. There's all kind of little things in there, and nothing's real big except the bass. So, that's why grass mats are good, is because it's basically a food source. It's like a little floating refrigerator out there. So if you can just visualize that and understand why, those are good. And if you ever get in an area where there's a whole bunch of grass mats around, take some time. Take a net, take your hand, grab some of it, take it up on the deck of your boat, shake it out a little bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's all kind of cool things in there. If you don't see a bunch of food source in that grass, maybe move on. Find another area. You start finding some food source, you'll start finding some big bass.